The Jerohane, aka the Brutes, have been a very hit-or-miss addition to the Halo series. These giant, ape-sized, savage beasts were introduced to the Halo fans with the release of Halo 2 in 2004. In fact, they were supposed to be in Halo CE, but had to be scrapped, and so Bungie took the opportunity to bring them to life in Halo 2. Ever since their introduction, the Brutes have been a well-known berserker of an adversary for you as a player. That is, until Halo Reach. After the release of Halo Reach, the Brutes just went missing. Okay, well, they've been doing whatever it is they've been doing, but what I'm trying to say is we have not seen or fought against them since the release of Halo Reach. With Halo Wars 2 dropping next year, and the Brutes making a comeback as the main antagonist, or at best, the main threat, that could only mean there is a huge possibility Brutes will be making a comeback in Halo 6. Right? Hello everyone, it's RealMistry here, and welcome back to another video where I voice my opinion, or speculate on something Halo related. And today I discuss, how would I like to see the Brutes in Halo 6? Let's quickly throw everything aside for the moment. I'm not confirming that Brutes are in fact in Halo 6, I just want to entertain the possibility of having Brutes as an enemy to fight in Halo 6. As mentioned before, the Brutes were introduced in Halo 2, and they were just bullet sponges. In most cases, Brutes would end up charging at you, and you'd have to pump whatever ammo you had into them until they dropped dead. This new game mechanic did not really prove to be fun. It was intimidating, the idea of seeing 2 or 3 Brutes charging right at you, forcing you to quickly shoot off their helmets and take their head off, but ultimately, in my opinion, not too fun. But all that changed in Halo 3! Instead of them looking like a bunch of Chewbacca's running around, Bungie started to flesh them out, add more character. They gave Brutes far more elaborate headdresses and armor pieces. With all these new visual changes, they also changed the Brutes' attitude and reactions, and all in all made them a more exciting enemy to fight. The Brutes in Halo 3 had this aggressive, always in your face mentality, which really changed the overall combat experience in a good way. Halo 3 ODST modified the same engine as Halo 3, so there's not much to add on that front. Other than the fact of you not being a Spartan, and adding engineers to the mix made the Brutes a far more challenging foe to fight. But Brutes were then changed again in Halo Reach, this time mixing aspects of Halo 2 and Halo 3. Bungie brought back the barbaric look, and the Halo 2 game mechanic of shooting off the helmet and then shooting the head. They also brought back the elaborate armors and headdress for the higher ranked Brutes. On the plus side, they kept up the up-close and personal combat once aggravated. All in all, Brutes have been very mixed. I personally liked fighting the Brutes in Halo 3, but found them to be a little too easy. I would like them to be slightly more challenging of an enemy. So where exactly does that put us? Now I think it's time to see how 343 Industries wants to approach the Brutes. If I were to sum up the characteristics of the Brutes in 3 words, I would use aggressive, intimidating, and feral. These are the 3 words I want to see translated into the Brutes, in any future installment, but for argument's sake, let's go with Halo 6. In all Halo titles, one of the common things that made Halo's campaign fun and exciting to play was the Covenant. The Covenant were, and still are, a fun group of adversaries to fight. Mostly because of the multiple ways to approach combat and the various character dynamics of each species. The way they move, the way they act, the many different strategies to fight all the different species are great fun. I sit down and play a Warzone Firefight match and enjoy warming up and having fun fighting the Covenant. But since Halo 4, the Covenant have been pretty cut and paste. Bringing the Brutes back will present a fresh, new approach to fighting the Covenant. Granted, we have fought them before. So adding an aggressive species to the mix will definitely mix things up. The way they move, the way they attack, I want that to personify the Brutes. When you aggravate a Brute or take out a few members of his squad, I want them coming for you. Have them run at you, going in for that in-your-face, up-close and personal kill. What would be even more interesting is have a small pack running at you, like 2 or 3 at once. Which brings me to my second word. Intimidating. In Halo 6, with the Brutes added to the mix, I want to turn a corner and see a squad or a few squads and be a little scared to make that push. Maybe have to sit back and think twice about how to approach the situation. Brutes are savage. They're supposed to be brutish, excuse the pun. But having those aspects in their characters will make them intimidating. Another thing that makes them intimidating are their behaviors or mannerisms, their intellect, and their sheer physical strength. I remember in Halo 3 on the mission Crow's Nest, there was this section of brutes, and only brutes. You come down this small ramp and open a door to a room, and at the end of the room, all you see is a pack of brutes and a brute chieftain with a gravity hammer. When you walk in on that many brutes, especially on solo, I found it really intimidating. In all my feeble attempts at clearing out the room, I kept dying. The Master Chief is dead on the floor, and the brutes were all laughing at me as I struggled to destroy them. Their strength in numbers was intimidating at that point. Granted, now we have more tools at our disposal, thus it would be hard to recreate moments like that in Halo 6. But I am certain there is a way. Let's assume that in Halo 6 we will be fighting Atriox and his faction. His faction repurposes tech. This could give the brutes a variety of moves or visuals or different mechanics in general that can make the brutes intimidating. Let's say, for example, some of the repurposed armor gives the brutes energy shields, kind of like what the engineers did in ODST. And in order to defeat the brutes, you had to take out the energy shields and then knock off the armor. It would make the combat far more challenging, and would not make it so they're exactly like fighting the elites. Unlike the elites, the brutes' shields would not come back, because at that point the brutes' armor is gone. I know this will be a bad segue, but the last brute was feral. You know how I said the banished faction repurposes tech? Well, imagine, if you will, fighting brutes with heavier repurposed armor, and you hit them with a plasma pistol, it takes off the energy shield. And you hit them again with the plasma pistol, and now the armor malfunctions and falls off, just like it did in Halo 3. And the brutes at that point become extremely aggravated. At that very moment, I want the brutes to become feral. It's lost its shit. It's pissed off and it's coming for you. And it does not care if the elites, jackals, or grunts are still alive. It goes in all beast mode. It's untamed and it's gonna hunt you down. Or maybe even have them hunt you down. As a pack. Assuming there were a few pissed off. Some of them could come jumping at you like they did in Halo 3. Others would try to flank you. Some would hurtle towards you like a rampaging herd of rhinos. This could work really well, especially with all the newer tools and game mechanics at your disposal. Each situation would be very different. I want brutes to become more brutal or beast in nature when surrounded by other brutes, and I want them to act a little different when with other Covenant species. Bringing in the brutes again will bring in a new and interesting dynamic to fighting the Covenant, so much so that it will always almost literally keep you on your toes. I want the brutes to be more aggressive, abusive, and intimidating. I just know that they can change up the way you fight the Covenant, and this could prove to be a great new imagining of the brutes that hits the classic iteration of the brutes while bringing something new to the table. To me, the brutes have always had this sense of pride, and you can see it in their posture. When you take off that armor, they've lost that sense of pride, and that's when they become berserk. They go all juggernaut on you. That's what I see in the brutes. That's what I want to see the brutes do in the future installment of Halo. That's the kind of new dynamic I want added to the mix of fighting the Covenant. The next installment would not be as cut and paste anymore, but it would also add to that fun, exciting combat that we held so high when fighting the Covenant. Brutes are aggressive, intimidating, and feral in my eyes, and that's what I want to fight the next time I have to fight the Covenant in the Halo franchise. Blur Studios, Creative Assembly, and 343 Industries might have a different vision for how they want to see the brutes, and that's fine with me. Regardless, I cannot wait to have the opportunity to fight the brutes again, and especially cannot wait to see what 343 Industries has in store for us behind the door for Halo 6. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you did, give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. And if you want to see more videos from me, then go ahead and pulverize that subscribe button. I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Until next time.